Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name's Royce, and I wanted to come to you today with something a little spicy. Now, this is the first brew that I've done on the channel, and I don't know what to call this deck, but basically it's Jund Gardens, where I try to squeeze in as many Bloomburrow cards as I thought were possible. So, I will say this deck is still a work in progress, and some of the games that you'll see in a minute were a little messy, a little bit scuffed, but if you like the idea, feel free to take it and run with it, or offer more suggestions for how to change the deck in the comments, and maybe I'll do a round two and try to get some more games with a cleaned up deck list. But here's the concept. Basically, I felt like, well, it all started with the question, why doesn't Gardens play Refurbished Familiar? And there might be some very good reasons for that, but to me it seemed like there wasn't a good reason. The deck already plays a lot of artifacts. It's missing some early game tempo, so Refurbished Familiar could help Gardens fight on the board. You can get it back with Blood Fountain, which they're already playing. It's a +1 in card advantage, or it draws if the opponent is out of cards. It just seemed great, so why not? So I leaned a little bit into that concept, and I found that a couple of different Bloomburrow cards actually supported the Refurbished Familiar. And the whole original way that I got the idea for this deck is this card right here, Psychic Whorl. Target opponent discards 2. Then if you control a rat, surveil 2. So I thought, great, Gardens already plays Crypt Rats. You add in some Refurbished Familiar. All of a sudden, you're playing a hand-rip version of Gardens with the Refurbished Familiars with Psychic Whorl, where you're running them out of stuff and you're getting great card selection with a Surveil when you can get this off. Now, I will say in the current version of the deck, I'm actually not playing Psychic Whorl. I just put it in here to demonstrate for a second. So let's take those out. And the reason I'm not playing the Rat card in the Rat deck is because on turn 3, we need to make more proactive plays. And turn 3 is such a busy turn for this deck where there's so many things that we want to be doing. We want to be playing a different Bloomburrow card that I'll show you in a second. We want to be drawing off of Deadly Disputes. We want to be playing our Tithing Blades. Maybe resolving an early Crypt Rats, resolving an early like Thorn of the Black Rose if we can get it out with a treasure token. There's so many things on turn 3 that I just never really found the time to play the Psychic Whorl. And also, it's really hard to get out a Refurbished Familiar on turn 2 in this deck. It's possible, but difficult. So I found that, oh, well, I'll just delay Psychic Whorl one more turn so I can get my Refurb down first and get the full value out of the Surveil trigger. Maybe that was me just being a greedy dingus, but that's how it felt, so I ended up taking that card out. But I'm still running this deck with a couple of other Bloomburrow cards which I think you might like, and which I liked as well. The MVP is definitely Heaped Harvest. This is probably one of the most hyped cards from Bloomburrow, and for good reason. For 3 mana, you get a free land from your deck, and then for 2 more mana, through its own trigger, you can heal 3 and get another land from your deck. Or you can sacrifice it to a different effect, like one of your card draw spells, and still get the land, but not get the healing. Heaped Harvest is a great ramp option, and I think it should be highly considered in Gardens decks. It really helps you speed run the mid game, get into the late game quickly, and start doing things like dropping Trolls, which is just pretty strong in certain matchups. I'm playing 2 other cards from Bloomburrow that I was also relatively pleased with. One of those is Fountainport Bell, and I'm not sure. I don't have a deep encyclopedic Magic the Gathering card knowledge, so I hope you all tell me if this card is just outclassed. But a 1-mana artifact that stacks a land to the top of your deck that later can be sacrificed for 1 mana to draw a card is just pretty flexible. Of course, this is partly in here to support the Refurbished Familiar package, but also, since I ended up playing this deck in the Jund colors instead of the Golgari colors like I originally planned, then this can help me pick up lands of different colors. I can get my red or my green source to drop my Chrysalis on curve, and it just seemed pretty nice. Before I talk about the Chrysalis and all of that stuff, let's go into the final Bloomburrow card that made the cut for the final build of the deck that I've made so far, and that's Bumbleflower's Sharepot. I look at Bumbleflowers as kind of an additional copy of Blood Fountain in the sense that it's a single artifact that creates an artifact. It helps you speed out the familiars. But also this makes a food. Sometimes you need healing in certain matchups, and that food can be sacrificed to your draw spells. But also in the late game, I found that if I could reach that far 5 mana to sack and destroy a non-land permanent is actually pretty nice, especially because this is an ability and not a spell, so that makes it a lot more difficult for decks to counter. So don't underestimate this card. It is interesting. I don't know if I would necessarily keep it in this deck in an optimized build, but I think it's pretty cool. And of course, the other thing that I did is I went with the Jund colors. I felt like since I was having some proactive plays with Refurbished Familiar, I would lean into that sort of more proactive mid-rangey style and play Writhing Chrysalis, which helps me sort of establish more of a board than most opponents are used to against a Gardens deck when I'm also dropping Avenging Hunters and stuff afterward. So the Writhing Chrysalis has been pretty good. I understand why some people have decided to play Jund Gardens in this meta. Now, I also needed to leave a lot of things out to make all of this space. Number one, even though I have 22 cards in the land column here, there are technically only 18 lands. And even with the 4 supporting cards, 3 Troll and 1 Fountainport that can help me find a land, sometimes I just had to mulligan over and over because I wasn't finding them. That might be variance. Your mileage may vary, but you might also want to include a 19th actual land on the deck. I also needed to take out sort of a pile of removal and a pile of card selection. So the removal that I took out was every copy of Cast Down. Those aren't in here. In the removal column that I've got right here, not a Cast Down in sight. Did I miss those sometimes? Absolutely. There are strengths that the deck has through not playing that removal, but I just needed to make space, and sometimes I really wish I just had a 2-mana destroy target creature, something easy like that, where their creatures would outrun my Defile and I couldn't get enough swamps into play, even with the Heaped Harvest. So that is what it is. I also needed to cut a pile of card selection, like I said. So that was Lembas, and I ultimately had to cut a single Ichor Wellspring. So cutting the Lembas also hurt quite a bit. It turns out being able to control your next draw is pretty nice. When you're flooded, you put a land away. When you are screwed, you take the land. It's good. It gives you some long-term sustain and some healing in the main deck. And I found that lacking that healing and only having a couple of food sources in the deck meant that I was pretty soft to something like Boros Synthesizer, which I expected I would have the ability to sort of play through and outgrind, but they were just able to, match me card for card and eventually throw enough bolts at my face that I was losing the game. So that's another weakness right there. Let's quickly talk about the sideboard. In the sideboard, I have a sweeper right here. I elected to go with a Drown in Sorrow instead of a 3rd Crypt Rats because I found that my life total was often sort of a problem. 2 more Snuff Out, great against a lot of decks in the meta, but especially against Broodscale. And that's what the Duress is in here for as well, and the Spinning Darkness. Spinning Darkness is also some additional healing, which I was really desperate for, and Spinning Darkness could be good against mono red aggro or something like that. Against Affinity, you've got Troublemaker Oof. You could play this, or you could play Deglamour. I could see either one. The nice thing about this is you can sacrifice your Heaped Harvest, get out another basic, and take out their artifact or enchantment, rather than just shuffling into their deck. I would rather exile it if it's like a makeshift munitions. That was pretty scary for me. And then Weather the Storm came in clutch against any kind of burn deck. And, I don't want to go too overboard in the brewing, but I could actually see this deck main decking Weather the Storm. Starting on like turn 6 or 7, you can really start to chain together a lot of different draw spells. And I think at that point, including Weather the Storm would be too greedy, because how likely are you to actually get to that point? But I'm really tempted to include some of these in the main deck. I think they would help a lot of matchups if only I could support them. And then 2 Nile Spellbomb against graveyard decks. I wish I could play a little more, and I wish I could play a Relic, but unfortunately this deck is somewhat graveyard-based with the 2 copies of Blood Fountain and the 2 copies of Eviscerator's Insight and the Spinning Darkness. I think Relic would hurt me quite a bit. So there's the profile right there, and I want to give a couple of other caveats. This video is not going to be played in a league. I did start to record a league playing this deck, but I found that I'm still just too new to the Magic Online interface. I was playing too slowly, and I don't care about showing losses on the channel. I'm going to do that in this video, but I do want to show games that are actually games. I don't want to show you non-games where I'm just timing out and raging. That's not interesting for anyone to see. So I managed to finish that league 2-3 off camera after going 0-2 on camera, probably just because I was talking too much. But I decided to go into tournament practice, extend my time limit a little bit just to sort of show what the deck can do. And in the hands of a more worthy pilot and a faster clicker on Magic Online, y'all might be able to do better than I did. So there is the deck tech. I know that was a little bit longer than usual, but I wanted to give you my thought process. At the end, if you stay until then, I'll talk about some more of my impressions of the deck. But until then, if you like the video, be sure to leave a like and a comment. The reception on my first video was amazing and gratifying, and I just really want to express my utmost thanks. I never expected in a million years for my first video to pop off, in my opinion, the way it did as such a small YouTuber. So thank you. And then also, if you like the channel, a subscription or clicking on the notification bell to be alerted to when I go live would be very helpful as well. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I will see you in the games. All right, we got our next game versus Rodrigo Barbosa. Let's see how we do. Good luck, good luck. We won the die roll, and let's get started. All right, this is a situation where I like having the Fountainport Bell. It leads me into, I'm going to keep, by the way. It leads me into my next land, which is an untapped land, which allows me to, like, Tithing Blade. It also helps to set up the Refurbished Familiar. It's very nice. I am going off of Defile here, but that's okay. I can Defile on my turn if I have to. Fountainport Bell. Yes. Play it. And what land do we want here? I think currently I'm just going to take another Swamp. It makes my Defile better, and it makes my Witch's Cottage better. Yes, use the ability, stack a Swamp. Usually I take whatever color I'm missing, but in this case I just want more black mana. I've also got the Crypt Rats, so lots of reasons to go with Swamp. They're also playing a Swamp deck, okay. Night Market Lookout, I'm going to have to read their cards. When it becomes tapped, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life? That's kind of spooky. I think I will Tithing Blade that. This looks like a black burn deck. And I'm okay with just taking their creatures off the board, because they tend not to have a lot of them, I would say. Goodbye, Night Market Lookout. Just keep them off of stuff. And besides, what else am I doing there, really? Gotta curve out, bro. Okay, I'm a little excited. I said bro. Let's take it a step back here. We don't need to do all that. Perilous Mirror. Okay. Got it. We don't have the Heaped Harvest, and we won't for a little while. I think for now I will just play the Refurbished Familiar into the Witch's Cottage for no additional value. Let's take cards out of their hand. We know they need all their cards. That's how it goes, right? Burn decks need to count to 20. 18 is not enough. Discard a Fanatical Offering. Okay, nice. Take away some of their late game value. And pass. The question is, do I block here? I think I might. I'm not going to, like, try to just clean this up with the Crypt Rats, because the Crypt Rats would also take out the Refurb. Blister Grub. When it dies, each opponent loses 2 life, and Swamp Walk says this creature can't be blocked as long as the defending player controls a swamp. Well, that's good versus me. We do have a redraw off of the Fountainport Bell to try to find something. I probably just Defile this, currently. I guess this is an aggro, you know, burn creature-based black deck. Kind of like zombies. Okay. Just try to stop everything they do. I got a land. I like that part. I don't know what to do with the rest of this stuff. I don't like that part. I think maybe I just play out my Crypt Rats. I like it. I play out my Crypt Rats. I either Defile or crack my Bell. Let's do it. Now, it's not good into this board or anything, but I have to resolve this at some point. I want to be belling when I can to try to draw into a green source for this Heaped Harvest, though. I took out 1 Colony Garden, so this is a little bit harder to resolve these days. But I am up to 4 Deadly Disputes, so maybe it's a wash. Serrated Scorpion, okay. It's looking like a game where I'm just going to Crypt Rats for 2. And then they're going to Sign in Blood and get some value back. Okay. I go down to 10 here. Oof. Or down to 8, rather. I really gotta find a green source, man. Did they play another thing? Nope. Draw. Okay. There's a green source. Nice. And that represents some healing. Take those away. Maybe I'm not supposed to respond to them like this. I'm supposed to let them chip in and then heal around them, but I kind of want to rip off the Band-Aid in this situation. I was about to say don't at me, but you can at me if you want. Oh, I have to click some things. Okay. I'm waiting for Rodrigo. I still don't really understand how triggered abilities really work on Magic Online. I just click stuff, man. Okay, I play my Colony Garden. I get my potential blocker. I've got a Defile. All other creatures are probably going to be pinging me, right? So maybe I should try to flip the Tithing Blade when I can. Maybe I flip the Tithing Blade next turn instead of doing Heaped Harvest things. That would be hard to believe, but I could see it. And Heaped Harvest can get me the red source for the Chrysalis, so I can start to, beat them down and actually close things out. I'm hoping they have, like, 2 lands. Gurmag Angler? What the heck? Alright. You got Gurmag Angler. Sounds good. Greedy Freebooter. That's what I'm more used to seeing. Use Scry 1 and create a treasure. Okay. And Vampire Lacerator. I've never seen this card in my life. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life unless an opponent has 10 or less life. I do have 10 or less life. Okay. I'm just going to call that a 1 mana 2/2 if it's alright with everybody else. So I could Defile. I think I'm gonna Heaped Harvest and pick up another Swamp here. And then sack for like a mountain. Okay, there's my Swamp. I just gotta make sure I have enough mana to do everything. And I think I do. So Heaped Harvest. Here, here, here. I have enough swamps theoretically. Let's just get a mountain first. Okay. Yes, of course. Get a mountain. Let's heal up to 11, make you take 1 damage, I guess. Crack this right now. For... I don't know, do I get my forest? I could see it. Yes. Let's take a forest. It's fine. And then we are just going to Defile this straight away. You take 1 damage. Enjoy. Pass. So next turn I have Chrysalis. On future turns I've got Tithing Blade stuff. If the opponent isn't putting pressure on me, then I gotta really be careful with, not Tithing Blading too late. It's weird to say, but I think it's true. What do they have? They're swinging in. I will block with the 2/2. Or block the 2/2 with the 0/1. I don't really want to give them a scry if I can help it. Currently they're dealing 3 damage a turn. Okay, let's Chrysalis. Hiya. And then I can use the mana to flip my blade. Let's do that. So here, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I've still got 1 to block with. Exile the Crypt Rats. Okay, they might be shut out, but I'm only healing 1 per turn. That's not that much, because their average card is going to deal like 2 or 3 damage to me. I've got a land, and what is this? Flying. Whenever this or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay. It's not super spooky. I do have something with reach at least. But maybe they just keep this in the back and they send other things forward. Or another creature dies, period. Okay. Huh. Are they really supposed to just leave that back and not swing in with anything? I don't know the answer to that. Heaped Harvest. Nice. So let's start with a Writhing Chrysalis. Hiya. Hiya. Hiya, hiya. And then we can Heaped Harvest plus also sack. These things will hurt me. That's a consideration, I guess. It's considered a creature. Have they found the workaround? Yes, use the ability. Take a swamp. Okay, so I go down to 10, but I heal 3? Get another land? I guess? And then I just don't sacrifice these things for a little while? Sacrificing is dying, right? Yep. That's pretty good for them. That's a nice little, like, anti-Pawns attack. Yes, use the ability. Get a swap. And now I, like, Chrysalis block their creatures. What's my clock looking like? I'm not going to sack these right now since I can't swing out. I want to sack them later, I think. Pass. Opponent takes 1 damage. Hiya. Get a swap. Please don't have another one of these. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I don't really have a sustainable way to be healing a lot over time. Like, I don't have Lembus. Okay, block there. Here. Yep. Okay. You don't have Death Touch, do you? Okay. I feel like they would want to save that in case they get another Falconwrath Noble. This is really a Weather the Storm matchup here. Ooh. Okay, it's worth it. I deadly dispute. Here, sacking a spawn token. I've got to chew through these eventually. Sacking both puts me at 11. It's okay. Let's draw some cards. As soon as I swing, they're going to block with the thing that will give them a scry. Let's get a redraw with refurb. Slightly expensive refurb, that's okay. Here and here. They're not going to keep cards in their hand right now. Defile here, amazing, that's what I needed. Here, be very careful. And then we swing in with these. Colony Garden. I don't have an Eviscerator's Insight in the graveyard. Alright, so we will just attack. Not all attack, of course. Just attack with the Chrysalises, and we will sacrifice this to increase our clock, dealing 11 damage. Killing them next turn, depending on their blocks. They probably block here to set up their next draw. Ooh, they double block. Interesting. Okay, no rush to do this then. Scry 1, make a treasure. I'm not that worried about the treasure, I'm more worried about the scry. If they try to put the Falconwrath thing into play, I will just sack the spawn on the stack before it comes in to grow these up big and strong. It's kind of hard for this deck to count to 10 from here, I think. They've got some redraws with Sign in Blood and stuff like that, but this is a situation where sometimes against a burn deck, when they have an empty hand, I still play like they have a handful of Galvanic Blasts for some reason. They're not even in that color. It's definitely a weakness that I have as a player. Overestimating my opponent's stuff. Foul Imp. When it enters, you lose 2 life. They lose life. Okay. I'm comfortable with that. And then I'm going to be healing with the Consuming Sepulcher. Eviscerator's Insight is very nice. Let's do that on the... Okay. We won game 1. Let's go into sideboarding. Here we go. We've got weather... Forget it. I'm counting that. They left! I guess that's why people do these videos in leagues. That's okay. We'll include it. On to the next one. I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, let's get started. I'm looking forward to slamming creatures, slamming artifacts, and doing it all while playing gardens. Let's get going. So we're opening up with a 0 lander. Definitely a problem. We got to mulligan that. We're only on 18 lands, so that is a little bit of a risk. I like this hand a lot better. It looks like the opponent is starting with 6. We're going to keep. I have a land and a troll. Actually, I've got 2 lands and a troll and a blood fountain and a wellspring. I think I'll just put back... I could put back 1 wellspring, but at the same time, I might put back a troll. I feel like 2 lands is okay. And I'm going to need the draw to get going once I'm through my start. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to start it off just with a Colony Garden and then pass. Opponent passes through their first main phase. They have no lands. Okay, that's really rough. I'm not sure what's happening over there unless they're attempting to discard on purpose, which I have seen before. Oh wait, no, that was my turn. I'm a donkey. Okay. That was my own turn. Ignore me. Okay, so Rustvale Bridge. So it's looking like some sort of synthesizer deck, maybe Mardu or Boros. I can play my Swamp here and Wellspring. Let's try to look for a 3rd land, and then we can start to drop some familiars next turn. We don't find it yet, but that's okay. We have another look, and we'll pass. And currently we can Wellspring on 3, Refurb on 4, even if we don't find another land, but hopefully we do. Barbed Batterfist. So this is looking like Boros Synthesizer to me. I think that's fine. They've got a lot of late game value, but so do I. So I'm not too worried about it, and we're going to be applying more pressure in this deck than we usually would. Okay, so here I could Ichor Wellspring, but I think I'd rather just Deadly Dispute the Wellspring to look deeper and really maximize my chances of getting a land drop. I'm going to search 3 deep here, while also making a treasure. Okay, I found a forest. Not ideal, but that is something. Now, I could play another Wellspring right now, and I think I might do that. I'm replacing the treasure token. I think I want to keep digging, keep hitting my land drops. I need some more swamps, ideally, so I think I'm just going to cash in this treasure right now and play another Wellspring. and then pass. So if I find my one of Mountain, I can actually go Writhing Chrysalis next turn. If I hadn't used my treasure, then I would have top-decked the Writhing Chrysalis and I would have been able to play it on 4, but I think that's okay. A slow start, I find that this deck gets pretty explosive around turn 4 or so, when I can start resolving my familiars, so that's nice. I definitely can't drop familiar as quickly as I can in a deck like potentially Rakdos Madness if you play familiars in there, or in Grixis Affinity or something like that, but you know, it's still pretty common for me to be able to get it down to 1 mana. Do I just block with the plant? I think I might. I don't really have a Deadly Dispute style effect. This heals 3. I think that's worth it. And even if I did, I can sack that Wellspring, so let's say okay. This is especially good if I want a Heaped Harvest on this turn, because I need to preserve my life if I'm taking a slow play. And it looks like that's probably what I do, just Heaped Harvest into a Mountain for a Chrysalis next turn. I don't hate that. This Defile isn't doing much right now, but it's going to be as big as it needs to be pretty quickly. The creatures don't get too big in this deck, so I'm just going to Heaped Harvest here. Find a Mountain. I like the color fixing, the amount of color fixing options we have in this deck. We're playing 3 Troll, 2 Heaped Harvest, and a Fountainport Bell, which is a little bit of personal spice. So at least the opponent hasn't had a super aggressive start, but we should expect, a lot of copies of Galvanic Blast, things like that. We have to keep our life total up. This might be a matchup where I put in Weather the Storm, especially because they have long turns, chaining off with their experimental synthesizer, so we'll see. But I feel like we're not out of the running on this game. Do they have a synth? They've got another Barbed Batterfist. Okay. And what did they do? Play a tap land? I think. Okay, so they've just got some low-to-the-ground attackers. I'm not mad at that. Alright, so is the best thing to do here just to play the Writhing Chrysalis, and then I can double sack and play a Wellspring? I think that's pretty good. I only have 1 blocker against their 2 attackers, but I think I just need to make the tempo play here while continuing to dig. Maybe I pick up a Swamp with the Wellspring. Okay, here's Wellspring. If I pick up a Swamp, I have Defile, which is nice. The Chrysalis becomes quite large. It can block one of their guys and also take a burn spell, so I like that feeling. Okay, what do I draw? Okay, unfortunately it's not another land, so despite our Heaped Harvests, we're actually developing our lands pretty slowly, but that's okay. It's helping us sort of play through these situations where we would otherwise be mana screwed. Next turn, I can theoretically play out 2 familiars if I find a swamp, which I can actually get with the Heaped Harvest. The experimental synthesizer, which means they're going to be playing out some stuff, developing their board, but not necessarily pushing a lot. They go synth into synth. That's fine with me. They're getting a ton of artifacts here. I think we should be able to outvalue them. They really need to find... Okay, they found their core Skyfisher. They can pick up a synth for a land, which I don't think they've played yet. Let's see what they do. If they pick up a synth, then I think they have, both like a 1 mana play and a land. This tells me that they have flexibility in their hand already. Synth reveals Lembas. Okay, that's not what they want to see. That Lembas is gone forever, and I think they don't find their land. Oh, they're going to combat. Okay. Interesting. So if they're swinging in here, do they just feel like they need to press the advantage, get me down to 13? I suppose so. So this Heaped Harvest is going to be pretty important. They could also just be trying to kill my Chrysalis, but I'm not mad at that if they spend burn on my creatures. That's fine with me. End step. Okay, cool. So here, I have choices. I could play out another Chrysalis, which is kind of nice. I don't hate that. And that will also allow me to crack this Heaped Harvest using the spawns. I think I'm just going to keep committing to the board right now. Discarding from their hand is not going to be super impactful. They have a ton of cards in there. Probably some that they are happy to discard. What I'm afraid of here is like a makeshift munitions, potentially. I'm not going to swing in right now. Or do I? I can swing in, and then I can chump this with an Eldrazi spawn. I guess I'll press the advantage. I'm fine with that, even though they are showing me that they're going for a sort of burn plan. I think this is okay. Let's use the Eldrazi spawns to their full potential. And I think I can still crack this artifact during the blockers phase. If not, you know, it's a minutia of magic that I'm not sure about. We'll find out. They synth again. We knew about that synth. They find a Great Furnace. That's fine. They missed a land drop last turn, so we know they want those. If they don't have lands, then maybe they just have a pile of burn in their hand. It's possible they actually have like 4 Galvanic Blast. But the funny thing is I can actually... Oh, I'm exactly dead to quadruple Galvanic, and they have the lands to play them. So I wonder if they actually do that. They see right now that I'm at an effective 16. Krark Clan. Okay. That's fine. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this right now. Make some mana. And then I will crack the Heaped Harvest for a swamp. Now they've already removed their Rebel, which is nice, because I still have a blocker for the core Skyfisher, potentially. Okay. They crack again. Got it. I have 2 mana right now. They're continuing to crack. They're trying to wipe the board here and just get in with their core Skyfisher. That's not really going to work for them, I don't think. They're losing out on a ton of value here, which really does kind of make me think that it's a burn plan here. They need to crack 1 more to kill my Chrysalis. Is that true? I'm not sure how the stack is going to work out here. Will they crack their Lembas? I mean, this thing will survive, right? Yes, get out a swamp. This is sort of an all-in plan right here. And now it's not gonna, they're not gonna be able to kill me this turn. I can get more healing as well from this Heaped Harvest. So if they've just got a pile of burn in their hand, I'm not too afraid of it. They reveal a lightning bolt. Okay. So they could bolt my creature, I think. Alright. Is everything dead, or does this survive? This might survive. I haven't been really following it exactly. This makes it through. Okay. Is that a second bolt that they just revealed? I think it is. Alright, they take my board apart, they cast burn at my creatures, and they get in for 2 damage. Completely fine with me. I've got flying blockers with the Refurbished Familiars. I can get another swamp with the Heaped Harvest and just take a turn off of the Familiars if I have to. I haven't done the mana calculations yet. Okay, they Glinthawk, pick up the Lembas. So I was going to say I could also drop the Avenging Hunter and, you know, hold up Defile for their flyer, but let's not worry about that right now. We can put out the Emblem creature next turn. So they pick up the Lembas to get some value back. We got a land. Alright. So what's our game plan? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana that we can spend. We can go for Heaped Harvest, drop 2 Familiars. I like that game plan. I don't know. Seems pretty good. I don't want to play the Avenging Hunter. I don't really need to hold up Defile this turn. Am I winning through burn next turn? If I am, is there anything I can do about it? I could. So I can heal 3 with Heaped Harvest, but that's all. And I need to spend all my mana to do it. So that would put me at an effective 13 life right now. I think I need to just make them discard some cards with the Refurbished Familiar. This might spell my doom. We'll find out. Because they're gonna need to have 14 from hand. That's hard to do. And they can't have 14 with 3 cards. So they would need to have 3 good cards in their hand and then a good top deck. Yes, use the ability, get a swamp, double Familiar. Let's start to pick you apart. There's their Lembas, okay. Took some of their value away. And I absolutely will chump this core Skyfisher. They've got another one that I took away from them. Very nice. That just killed a creature, basically. It killed a creature and gave them their mana back, but that's fine. Okay, they find a synth. So they're playing it slow. I've got some healing if they're playing it slow. I don't have a ton of healing in the deck. I'm not playing Lembas, actually. So they Glinthawk back the synth. Did synth reveal the Glinthawk? I forgot to pay attention to that. Synth reveals Thraben. Okay. I think actually I've changed my mind. I think I won't block the core Skyfisher anymore. They've shown me that they don't have a super all in aggro hand? Or will they pick apart my board? They're tapping 2? Are they cracking a clue, maybe? Ooh, if they just swing with that, do I double block with the familiar? With the familiars? I think I will because of Blood Fountain. So let's move to blocks. Block. Block. Okay. So I can Blood Fountain and replay a single familiar. Are they going to kill one with a burn spell? That would be fine. Any order? Clue. Okay. Oh, makeshift munitions. That is very spooky. I need to keep my life total up. Okay. So I still can't play the Avenging Hunter. Let's get back the refurbs and then play our Colony Garden, which can block the Thraben. Makeshift munitions can actually take care of my refurbished familiars, but it still discards their cards, so it's not the worst trade in the universe. I think this has to be good. We're just tearing their hand apart. Here and... Ooh, do I pick up a Chrysalis? No, I don't have time to play it right now. Here, 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 here. Play out one familiar. What do we take away? Is it a burn spell? And we take away the synth. Okay, okay. Play out the Colony Garden and pass. Eventually we will be able to resolve this 1-mana Defile, but we've had no time during the whole game. We've got some healing from the Heaped Harvest. That's important. The opponent gets in for 2 damage here. Or potentially 4 if they makeshift munitions throw a clue at my familiar, which would make sense. Or throw the Thraben. I'm not that worried if they pick apart my flyers and then they can get in with theirs, because I've got removal in my deck. What are they picking back up? The Thraben? Yeah, I would pick up the Thraben. Makes sense. Get some more value. So now they have an effective 3 cards in their hand if they can sack all their clues, but they might want to throw some at me, so we'll see. Or throw some at my stuff. Okay, makes sense. They get in for 4. Oh, they threw the Thraben Inspector. Okay, that's probably smart. Ground threats is not how they're going to win. Okay. This is, I'm really under the gun here. This is a problem for sure. I need to get something going here. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, they've got another Inspector. So they've got still an effective 3 cards in their hand, but it'll take them a while to draw that many. End step. Yes. Alright. So I think I need to heal off the Heaped Harvest. I don't think I can just Deadly Dispute it. First things first, let's just take a redraw with a refurb. I would honestly rather run them out of stuff than get more stuff myself, but this is just too efficient right now. How can I say no? I've got a land. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana left. I think I need to dig for some removal spells. So let's Deadly Dispute on a... Let's take the land out of the deck first things first. Heaped Harvest. I probably won't. I might need red. Actually, Chrysalis would be pretty nice. Let's go here, and I've got plenty of green mana. Yes. Let's get a swamp. And heal 3. Okay, I only have a little bit more healing in the deck. It's a little spooky. So Deadly Dispute. Actually, I won't be able to Chrysalis. I don't know what I was thinking about. The mountain. Here. Okay, find another Deadly Dispute. And a Colony Garden. So I've got another blocker, but I don't really need one right now. I could dispute that, but I'd rather be disputing the Wellsprings. So let's play another Dispute. I've got treasures to cast the Defiles that I draw. Wellspring or Plant. I'm gonna play another Colony Garden, probably. But I'll just do the Wellspring to dig deeper. I'm gonna be discarding some cards here. That's probably okay. I have to stabilize here. So I drew a Snuff out, which is a bit of a problem because I don't really want to be casting that for its alternative casting cost. I probably just do that next turn against something that I don't have a chance to clean up here. What do I draw? Do I play a tap land or a Colony Garden? I think I want to... I could get another red source for the Chrysalis. Do I need it? The blocker might be relevant here. I think I'll Colony Garden. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to Defile on the Core Skyfisher right this second. So I just don't have to discard as many cards. Ooh, what do they find? Oh, they're just throwing it at me. That makes sense. Yep. Or throwing it at the refurb? Okay. Yes. So is there a world where I snuff out for the alternative cost on a Glint Hawk? I go down to 9. I don't think I can do that, man. Can this only sacrifice creatures or artifacts? Not all of their lands are artifacts. Oops. I passed through. That's fine. Let's play our... We already played our land. I can play the Fountainport Bell off of the treasure token. Let's do that, I guess. Just to get another card out of my hand. And I don't want to put a land on top. Alright, so currently I'm taking 4. Each of these represents also a makeshift munitions trigger. So each of these is like 3 damage. I think I'm going to snuff this out. This is so sketch. You know what would be good here is the Bumbleflower thing. The Sharepot. Alright. Go ahead. Unfortunately, I was looking for a second Defile when I was trying to chain off and draw a bunch of cards. I didn't find it. So currently they're getting in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're getting in for a lot. I'm almost dead. They're going to start to run out of permanents to sacrifice, but they're not quite there yet. Yeah, move to blockers, just chump here. Okay, they throw the ground creature at me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do they have a bolt? I have another food in my deck, at least one more food. But they've got the Galvanic Blast. Okay, GG, GG. Alright, begin sideboarding. What would have really helped in that matchup is Weather the Storm. So we'll take that, and then I also like Troublemaker Oof. I think that's a matchup where Snuff Out is a little bit expensive in terms of life. So we'll take that out. Troublemaker Oof is also going to be good against their makeshift munitions. What else do I change here? Drown in Sorrow is actually alright as well. I've got a lot of cards I want to be putting in. Do I put in a Duress? I've got a lot of creatures. It's kind of easy to miss with a Duress. Spinning Darkness, great. What am I taking out? Maybe the emblem cards, because these were just sort of rotting in my hand. I wasn't really able to play them. I do like Crypt Rats though, even though it deals me damage. I want all the food that I can get my hands on. Let's take out the Thorn as well. We'll take out all the emblems and just try to win with like trolls. And then, Refurbished Familiars, just keep them off the board. And then I will take out, what else? The last couple cuts are always tough. This is tough. I might take out a 1 Blood Fountain. 2 might be a little ambitious. And then 1, maybe I don't want 4 Troublemaker Oofs. It's not affinity. Let's try that. Okay. Let's go first. I see that this hand has lands and spells. So far, things aren't coming together. I need a green source for the Troublemaker, but I think I will keep. It's not that awkward. Let's see if the opponent mulligans. They are in a 2-color deck also, so they could have a bad start. They choose to keep all 7. Okay, so we'll just play our Geothermal Bog and pass. This Weather the Storm is going to come in clutch once we get our green source. Deadly Dispute is a green source, by the way. It's true, it's true. Okay. We're getting a lot of lands. Not really where we want to be. But it only takes 1 card to pull the whole thing together. Like 1 Ichor Wellspring, 1 Blood Fountain, something that I can sacrifice to the Deadly Dispute, which is then something that I can bargain with a Troublemaker Oof. They've got a Thraben. Okay, not a problem. Basically, as long as I don't just draw a bunch of basic swamps, I think I'll be okay. Or Bajuka Bogs, or, let's draw some non-lands. I've got plenty of lands right now. But they're chipping in with those 1/2s. Good for them. They got a lot of redraws in the late game. Defile is alright. Defile's alright. We can defile their core Skyfisher. I'm good with that. Pass. What would be good here is like a Colony Garden or a Forest. I think I would like a Forest most because I could just play out the Chrysalis, which is so strong. Synthesizer, okay. Lightning Bolt. They can cast that. They're bolting me. Alright. Gotta get my green source. Come on, green. Do they have a... They probably wouldn't play a Glint Hawk on the Experimental Synthesizer. But they might Glint Hawk just to pick up a clue. I'm not going to defile quite yet. Pass. Got a Troll. Okay, that is a prolonged green source. So I control for the mire, and then next turn I can start doing some things. I can Weather the Storm, or Writhing Chrysalis, or Troublemaker Oof. So let's just immediately do that. Pay the 1 here, get out the Haunted Mire, play it, and pass. We now have enough swamps in play to take out the... oh, we already had enough to take out the Core Skyfisher because this is a swamp. It's an awkward start, but this Weather the Storm is so nice against their deck. Yeah, like, it gives them... They can move back towards the value plan, but eventually they have to close things out. And their way to do that is to throw some spells and creatures and stuff at my face. Okay. So here I can play out the Writhing Chrysalis and also have a Deadly Dispute available. So I think I'll Chrysalis. We'll play the swamp. Chrysalis, make red, green, black, black. I've got some blockers now. You've gotten your chip damage in, you've had your fun. Okay. And then now I can Deadly Dispute, cracking the token, make a treasure, hold up to file. Let's hold off on that for now. Let's just say, okay. I want to block with these and then sacrifice them, something like that. So far, I can't Weather the Storm unless I'm willing to sacrifice the actual Chrysalis. That's really spooky. Do they have a couple more of those? Okay. So I think I should prepare myself to sacrifice the Chrysalis with the Deadly Dispute and leave open the mana to Weather the Storm. As weird as that sounds. Core Skyfisher. Okay, okay. I can defile that. What do they pick up? The Synth? They Lightning Bolt me. Okay. Do they use their Galvanic Blast here? The thing is, if I have time... Okay, they don't. If I have time, I don't really want to Weather yet. I would so much rather just Deadly Dispute and Defile. Braided Bluffs. Okay. Got it. I'm at 4. Are they going to declare attackers to see if I block with a spawn and go down to 3? Okay, so here I'm just going to defile this. So what I'm sort of afraid of, though, is double burn spell. Should I be afraid of that? I want to do everything on their turn. I can take away the Synthesizer, which would spend my green, but then I can get the green back with Deadly Dispute and Weather the Storm next turn. So I go here, here, or like here, here, leave up 2 black in the bog, sack a token, exile the Synthesizer, but which takes a card away. That's fine. They're tapped out. And then I have 3 mana left, and then I could Deadly Dispute and Weather the Storm. I think I'm going to do that. They have a narrow window here. Let's see if they can get through. Sacrifice a token. Let's take the Synthesizer away. And this is sort of a who blinks first situation here. I think I take their Synthesizer, not their land at this point. And they lose their next synth. Okay. So I will pass. Next turn, I'm going to Deadly Dispute and Weather the Storm. So the problem here is... Wait, 2 things were exiled? I'm confused. No need to attack here. I just need to stabilize a bit. Make a big Weather. My problem is if they have 2 Galv Blast, but they've already played 1, so that's unlikely. And it needs to be 2 Galv Blast because I'm going to respond to the first spell that they cast, but only if it's a Galv Blast. Lembas, okay. They're searching for stuff. That's good for me. A little problem is if they have ping land into burn, into burn. Okay, so they're Galv Blasting me right now. I have to do this. So I'm going to Deadly Dispute, pay this, and this, and sacrifice the spawn, and make a green. Okay. Okay. I made my treasure. What do they do? Again, I'm dead to another Galvanic Blast. But I don't know if there was a way around that. Weather healed 12? Does that resolve? Yes, it resolves. Nice. Okay, we're not dead. We're not dead. We are living to see another day. And then we can start to strip apart their hand. We can Writhing Chrysalis again. I'm still at 12, so I'm not out of the woods here. Get pinged down there. Is that makeshift? Okay, it's not makeshift munitions. That's good at least. Are they picking up their Lembas or their Thraben? Okay. So I don't think I Drown in Sorrow this. There's no reason to. So I can oof to take away their clue and just starve them of stuff. This needs to sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token. This is actually an artifact. Let's start with a Writhing Chrysalis, because then I think I can do everything. Well, I can't do this. This is going to cost 4 mana. So I can do this and then Refurbished Familiar. I guess I'll do that. Red, green, black, black. Maybe I don't Refurbished Familiar here. There's a chance I don't Refurbished Familiar here. Okay. And then I just... Oh, I don't have the green to do the Troublemaker oof. Okay, okay. I think I'm gonna Familiar. It's the cleanest play. Do I swing in with this Writhing Chrysalis because I have the other one? I think I will. Swing. So many little decisions. This is only game 2. Okay, now I'm going to play the Familiar. What card do you not want anymore? If the board gets too crazy, I can Drown in Sorrow, have a reset. I need to get some Heaped Harvest to get some heals on deck. Eviscerator's Insight would be nice here to change some draws into like a Weather the Storm, which is reasonably likely to happen. They've got Lembas, okay. The value train is continuing. Fine. I still have the Sharepot in the deck for the munitions, or I have this Troublemaker oof and other Troublemaker oofs. Okay, they've got a ton of redraws. A lot of value, but it's also a lot of ground creatures, which I'm not too afraid of. I just need to leave up blockers for them. That might mean here that I'm supposed to Drown in Sorrow. Okay, there's an Eviscerator's Insight. I think I'm just going to swing in with the Refurb, see if I get some damage, Drown in Sorrow, and then go from there. Just here. I'm really telegraphing my play. Let's see what they fall for, if anything. Okay, they block with the Core Skyfisher, nice. Alright, fine. Any order? And then I Drown. Wellspring on top, I like that. I should have used Eviscerator's Insight when they were blocking. That was a mistake not to do that. Because now I don't have anything I really want to Eviscerator's Insight. I'll just pass. That was definitely a misplay. That was an advantage that I didn't press. Also, how is this a 2/3? Oh, because of the Drown in Sorrow. Makes sense. I had to be more careful as combat was resolving there. They Glinthawk their Lembas. Okay. If we have to, we can play the oof for no value. I just don't like doing that. Oh, we're about to get a Wellspring, which is nice. So I can Wellspring, oof the Wellspring, and then Eviscerator's Insight on the oof. But maybe I want to save this for the makeshift munitions. They've got 2 real cards, or 2 cards in their hand. They're going to get a couple of redraws here, potentially. I think I'm going to hold off on the oof on the Lembas. There are better targets, and we know what they are. Let's see if we can find a couple of lands or something. 1 land would actually do. Heaped Harvest, of course, is great. There's another oof. But still, I think we just sack the Wellspring, draw 3, find a land, find a Wellspring, okay. Just play the Wellspring and look for a... They've already used so much of their burn that I don't know if they'll have enough more to kill us through 2 reach creatures. I'm not going to swing with these because of Journey to Nowhere. Okay, we Witch's Cottage and pick up... what? Yes? Pick up a Refurbished Familiar. Sounds good. Continue to strip their hand. You get to have no cards. Pass. Right? Or do we swing with 1? I think I should swing with 1. Develop a little bit of a clock. Do you want to block? How likely are they really to remove the Writhing Chrysalis? I don't think they're very. This Writhing Chrysalis. Technically, we are at higher life total than them right now, so we can try to kill them with a Crypt Rats or something like that. Although they could just surprise me with burn on the stack, so I don't love that idea. They're getting their cards back, okay. 5 cards in hand. Still going to be hard for them to win from here. 1 red. That looks like burn. Okay. Lightning Bolt? Do they have it? They've already played a couple of Galv Blasts, haven't they? Or am I mistaken? Oh, that's really spooky. But it would have been spooky regardless. Is it makeshift munitions? Okay, they crack the Limbus. Wait, what is this? Am I dead? What is that card? Deals 4 to any target. If it was an artifact, you gain 4 life. Oh, that's okay. What are you dealing 4 to? Oh, me? I'm dead! What? I thought it was a creature. Ah, I lost. Alright, that was a really interesting match. I'm happy to show that one off. It's hard days out here. Let's go into the next one. Okay, let's see how we do in this game versus Quaggo. Yes, I'd like to go first, please. I see 3 lands, a Bumbleflower, Sharepot, a Deadly Dispute. This has got to be keepable. I'm going to hold back the Bojuka Bog and not just play that immediately for a tap land. They're mulliganing to 6. Pretty good. Okay. They're starting at 6. I will just play a swamp and pass. Alright. Yeah, I just will immediately defile your fairy. There you go. Take it off the table. That's how the fairy matchup works. Play a swamp, play a Bumbleflower Sharepot. We've got another defile for later. We're getting our artifact count up, and we can sacrifice those to the Deadly Dispute and get things going. Sounds good. In case this deck plays Deep Analysis and Sneaky Snacker, I'm going to hold off on the Bojuka Bog some more. Not that I could play it that turn. Let's play quickly so our opponent doesn't get upset as we attempt to just grind them out. Just play a swamp and pass. No need to throw in the Deadly Dispute right now while they're holding up 2 mana. And they pass as well. Okay, sounds good. They missed their land drop that turn. Let's swamp. Actually, they're not holding up a Spellstutter Sprite, so I can Deadly Dispute right now. I missed that. Oops. I'm too used to fearing the Spellstutter that I forgot the things that it can counter. They can still counterspell it. I'm okay if they counterspell. That Writhing Chrysalis will be nice. I can Deadly Dispute here. It actually set up the next turn Chrysalis. Is that the move? And just sack the Bumbleflower Sharepot? Let's do it. I don't think I've done a play like this before, but I like it. And they're going to counter that one. Spell Pierce. Okay. It's good. No. No. Good value from the opponent. Now we're not holding up Defile, but I think that'll be okay. Can we get a forest or a mountain? That would work. We get a thorn. Okay, you gotta try that, right? Does it resolve, or do they have the counterspell? It looks like it resolves. Nice. And let's keep playing lands. We will Bojuka the Bog. Let's see if they flash in their Spellstutter during the end step. I've got the Defile for that. They do not. Okay. Oh, yes. They flash in something. Okay. They do it. Got it. I will just Spinning Darkness that right now. I don't need these black spells in my graveyard. Stay off of the board! Keep out. Because I would rather not have to use this treasure token. It looks like they might have another Spellstutter to flash in. I'll let them try. Can't really play that Chrysalis. I guess I just swing. I don't want to fall prey to a Spell Pierce after they flash in their Spellstutter. So I'm not going to really tap my mana here. Swing 1. There we go. I don't think they have anything with flash or haste that this would need to block. I mean, they've got flyers with flash, but that's it. Okay. They're trying that one. Okay. Do they also have a Spellstutter? That is the question. Hiya. They don't. Nice. They had 1 Spellstutter, 1 of that thing. We find a land. This is going so much more smooth than some of my other games. I'm liking it. They find a fairy. Okay. Currently, I can deal with that with Crypt Rats. I can put down a flyer. Or, sorry, a Reacher. Actually, no, I can't, because this is a tap land. I'm sure we'll think of something. So many Chrysalis. Okay, opponent, do you have the counterspell or the Spell Pierce? Spell Pierce would not quite work. First, we attack. Hiya! That's how you gotta play this deck. You just gotta be swashbuckling with it. Who, you know, thinks through their plays, all of that business. It resolves. Okay, nice. I won! Okay, game 2. Will the opponent keep playing? I hope so. Drown in Sorrow. Snuff out. Snuff out. Spinning Darkness. Duress is okay. Spellbomb might not be. Take out some emblem stuff. Take out, I never know how many hunters versus how many, was that Dimir fairies? That was mono blue, wasn't it? I wasn't paying attention. That would affect whether they can, snuff out my 1/3, but it doesn't matter because they're just playing flying stuff. I'm going to leave in 1 Monarch, 1 Initiative because I can get stuff back with Blood Fountains. I kind of like Duress, but I'm making my job harder. I don't know what to take out, man. Let's take out a Refurb is amazing. We don't take that out. Heaped Harvest gets in around their counter spells a lot of the time, although they are playing Spell Pierce. Sometimes I am prone to taking out like a single draw spell, like take out the one of like Fanatical Offering. That could be okay. I'll do it. And take out a... We're already only playing 3 Wellspring. I don't want to really trim down to 2 necessarily. Maybe we don't need all those snuff outs, just take 3 snuff outs. How to use sideboard? Do I need 2 Blood Fountains? That seems excessive. I don't want to take out too many artifacts, though. And let's take out a... It's kind of hard sometimes to resolve 2 Spinning Darkness. It can be a little cloggy. We'll take the Spinning Darkness back out and try this. I am never confident in my sideboarding, so don't talk to me. I'm just kidding. Feel free to talk to me in the comments, and I will happily discuss. Especially if I was wrong. Okay, I will keep. The opponent keeps as well. I don't have Defile or Snuff Out, which is bad. But they also don't have a turn 1 fairy, seemingly. Nice. I found a Duress. The Duress is quite nice. I can't play it, though. If I want to play a turn 2 Duress, I will just Haunted Mire. Pass. We gotta get some black spells into the graveyard. They're flashing in their thing. They're getting their ninja. Sounds good. We're gonna start chaining off one of these days, but that day might not be today. Drop a Fairy Seer. Do they have the little ninja in hand? The little ninja that could? Moon Circuit Hacker? They do. Okay. So I don't mind so much leaving that on the board because it doesn't give them outright card advantage. I'd rather leave that on the board than the big ninja. So I might just continue setting up here. And what does setting up look like? Do I play my red source or my green source into a Wellspring? I think I'll play my red source. In case I get a Chrysalis, I'm going to want that on the board. Wellspring, let's go. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Let's go. All right. We got our 1 Thorn, so if we can start to close them out of the game, we can play that. Until then, that is just sitting in our hand, not doing much. We're about to get potentially 2, well, currently just 1 black spell into the graveyard because I only have 1 black pip, but we'll deal with that later. Are they going to Ninja on their Fairy Seer? Let's see. And if they do, it looks like they do. Big Ninja? Oh, they do it on their Ninja. Okay, they want to keep their Fairy in play? But why? Oh, they're doing both? Okay, interesting. I've never seen that before, but I'm sure it's common. What are they discarding? They're going to go up to 6 cards. They discard a... something... Oh, no, they don't have to because they just played that. Makes sense. You can swap them out. So here I have I got another black pip, which is quite good, so I can Duress plus Eviscerator's Insight. Or I could play a 3-mana Refurb, which is actually not the worst. But I think I'm going to wait a bit. I don't know. Although I am getting rid of my only artifact here. Is this game just about resolving Refurbished Familiars? They are currently below all counter spells. I'm definitely going Swamp. The question is what else I do. Refurbished Familiar or Duress Eviscerator's Insight. I think before I start discarding, I want to like deal with the source of the discarding, if that makes sense. Or with the source of the card draw that forces me to discard. Which is here, and then this also discards something of their choice. Discard a Snap. Okay. I don't know if Mono Blue Fairies always plays Snap. I could not tell you. Another Snap here would be pretty good tempo for them, and they would get another card draw, although I would get to replay my Refurb. They now can counter something that costs 2 mana with Spell Stutter. They play a Fairy Seer. Scry 2, let's check their Scry. 2 top. Very spooky opponent. I block. Hiya! Ooh, interesting. Okay, they throw that out there. It keeps their ninja alive, but at least they don't draw a card off of it. That part's good. So now that we have played our Refurbished Familiar and it is dead and buried, it's time for me to start... What are they discarding? Drawing with Eviscerator's Insight, getting Spinning Darkness online, never playing Thorn of the Black Rose. We got another Swamp. We might do that. Currently we have a... The only thing that we would need a single black pip for is black. And I have that here. So I'm going to start off with a... So they could counter either Eviscerator's Insight or Duress. I'd rather them counter Duress, I think, because I need to keep drawing. Are they considering whether or not to counter this? If they let me see their hand and there's a Spell Stutter sprite, I know what's going on. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Wait, hold on a second. I can't get these cards into the graveyard fast enough is the problem here. I was going to say I could Spinning Darkness on the Spell Stutter. Does that work? Or can I? No, it's too late. Too late. Okay. Spell Stutter here. Or Eviscerator's Insight, rather. Black. Red. Sacrifice. Hiya. What do we have? What do we have? Let's find a Drown in Sorrow, perhaps? A Crypt Rats, perhaps? I have a Swamp and a Defile. It's the best I can do. What do I want to take off the table? Maybe they're Ninja of the Deep Hours. Yep, let's do that right now. We're probably pretty dead, but we'll stop their value train while we can. And they're going to get in for 5 damage here. I do have Spinning Darkness, though. Let's not forget that. If they put in another ninja, I think I take that off the table. Ooh, do I Spinning Darkness right now? On the Spell Stutter before they bounce it? I think I will. Would I rather hit Spell Stutter or a ninja? Either way, it's not getting countered. Unless they have Counter Spell, which they could draw from the Of One Mind. This is exiling Eviscerator's Insight, which feels bad, man, but that's okay. I think I will throw this onto a Spell Stutter sprite immediately and pray. No counter spell? Or Spell Pierce? They have Spell Pierce. They're thanking. Is this where they use their hard counter spell? They're using a snap. Ooh, very spicy. Okay. I like the snap. They get to keep their Spell Stutter. My healing fizzles, I think. I want to say. I don't know why they were thinking so hard. That play seems amazing. I guess it folds to like a Snuff Out. But then I still don't heal. I'm going to stop talking. So they surely leave up the Spell Stutter sprite, right? It can counter anything that costs 4 mana or less, which is almost everything. Take 4. You're going to loot. Do you put in a ninja? Hopefully. Nope. Discard what? A land? A Brine Barrow Intruder. Is that actually a fairy at all? You're not a fairy. You're a human rogue. So you cannot counter the Thorn. Probably not relevant. So here we've got a Colony Garden. We know they've got the Spell Stutter in hand. They snapped it just for that purpose. We could Witch's Cottage, get the Refurb back on top. We're about to freaking die. We could Witch's Cottage into Thorn. I guess that's the move. Okay, let's do it. We're throwing everything at the wall here. This is surely a loss, but we play to our outs. Do they have Counterspell? I don't think Spell Stutter hits that, does it? Oh, they have Counterspell. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I don't know if I would Counterspell that if I were them. So we have, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're at 8. So we Witch's Cottage back the Familiar because it's good, I guess. It's decent. Yes. We seem to hold up a Defile. At any point, the 3-mana sweeper might kind of get me there if they tap out for whatever reason. So I am playing towards that out. Not really towards Crypt Rats anymore. What are they looting away? Just an island, okay. And they hold up all the mana because I am super dead on board. This is very expensive. I don't like that. So I Colony Garden. Okay. And then I attempt to Deadly Dispute. And then you counter that. And then I die. You actually cannot counter a Refurbished Familiar right now. And it can block, and this can block. If they don't flash in their spell stutter sprite for whatever reason, then I am alive at like 1. Not happily alive, just alive. Do you have the counterspell? You don't need it. You can win in a couple of different ways here. Just put your fairy on the board, and I think you've got it. We take away their Bloomburrow intruder. Okay. Pass. They flash in their spell stutter. I block. They get in for 3. I could have a defile. Let's see if they go for it. Do they go all in? They go all in. Alright, next game. Last game. So we need snuff outs. I'm going to bring that last one in. I love snuff out. I love free spells. So what do I take out? I think I will just completely take out the emblem. It's gone. Goodbye. Yes, go first. We have Swamp Defile. I like it. Into Ichor Wellspring. Keep. And then we are also partway to getting this Writhing Chrysalis down, which is pretty good against them. They've got to, like, snap it once it comes down. Do they have fairies here? No 1-drop fairy? Okay. They did keep 7. Interesting. So we will just play the Wellspring. Ah, it looks like Spell Pierce. Do I play into Spell Pierce? What else am I doing? Say okay. We're playing off curve in this family. If they flash in the 1-2, that's a problem. There's the problem. Okay. They got me. Now they can start countering everything they want to. I got successfully spooked. Let's see what they put in. Do they put in the ninja? Okay, they put in the little ninja. I'm going to defile this, and then they're going to spell pierce, and then I'm going to be able to safely play my Wellspring. They don't have spell pierce? What? They tricked me! Or maybe they do. Okay. They're just revealing that card. Makes sense. I would too. So, cycle for the green land? No, I can't do that because then I can't play the Wellspring. Oof. Do I risk missing my land drop? Maybe I just hit a swamp here. Get my second swamp. Okay. Get my land drops. No cottage. We still need a green source. We've got 2 Heaped Harvest for that. We've got the Deadly Dispute treasure token. Okay, Bumbleflower is something. It's a playable card. We take those. We need to... I'm fine with getting Deadly Dispute onto a Wellspring counter, to be honest with you. So here they're just getting in tiny creature beats. Yep. While holding up mana to stop my plays. But that turn they only held up 1 mana. Okay, so they... Unless they had the Spell Pierce the whole time and they were saving it, then I should be able to Deadly Dispute the Wellspring. And I can troll for the green land. That's pretty good. Hiya. Does it work? It does. Okay. And I've got a snuff out. That's very nice. Play the mire. I got another troll. Okay. There you go. Pass. Eventually I have Bog for I don't know what. Again, maybe they play Deep Analysis to loot away with their Moon Circuit hacker. I'm not sure. I guess I will snuff out here under the counterspell, and then I can Spinning Darkness that. Just keep everything off the board. Okay. Hiya. Because as soon as they untap, I become afraid. But I'm going to play a Writhing Chrysalis. What are you going to do? Hold up counterspell? Sure. They're holding up counterspell. I should have expected as much. Okay. Pass through combat. End. Do you have it? I just go for it, right? It's the best tempo play. I mean, they're probably holding up mana for a spell stutter sprite, right? You don't have counterspell. Who am I kidding? Well, they had counterspell. Okay, I can use those to play out the Sharepot, but I think I will just wait for the next Chrysalis. I could almost play the next Chrysalis right there. I just need 1 more treasure token. Easy, right? Do I block this? I think I'm okay with them looting. Right, but it also deals damage. Interesting. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to block and then Deadly Dispute. Block. Okay. Try to cast Deadly Dispute. Do not get wrecked by a spell stutter sprite right now unless they've got 2 of them. Here. The second Chrysalis will be very sad. It's not getting additional power. It didn't really need it anyway. 5 is big enough. Okay. And I got the Drown in Sorrow, which is nice as well. They do not develop further. That's very spooky. So I can just do another Chrysalis, and then I can, play Bumbleflower, Fountainport Bell with it, stuff like that. Okay, I don't hate it. Then I'll bog after. Get the other counter spell. We won the match! Let's go! Alright, that showed off the power of this deck. Being able to resolve creatures with reach is so nice. And I can't remember if we got any refurbished that game. I think we did game 1 when we completely picked them apart. We won it. Alright, let's do the next one. I needed that, that good news. Let's keep going. Okay, we're going into our next game versus Sodre. I might have mispronounced that. Let's see how we do. We lost the die roll this time. Let's be nice and wish the opponent good luck. Have fun. I feel like sometimes people read too much into and try to call everything BM. Like, how could GM be BM? People will be like, oh, it's bad manners to say good luck. Okay. It's a one-lander that I can't really keep. Mulligan. This is an even worse one-lander because it's a red one. Mulligan, down to 5. That's a 0-lander. I guess that's why you don't play 18 lands in your deck. We have to mulligan down to 4. At least they're mulliganing a lot too. Okay. We're doing it together. They keep at 5. Okay, we'll mulligan again. There we go. We've got some lands. We're not doing anything, but we've got to keep. I think we have to keep a black land. We'll ship back. We want to keep the Colony Gardens. And I think we probably just try to play a Chrysalis. So we need a green land and a red land for that. So we put away this, and this, and this, and hope we find a swamp because our deck is full of them. Done. All right. We're both starting our turns with 5 cards. They've got Delver. Amazing. Impeccable. Give me a Defile? Not quite a Defile. Okay. Colony Garden. That's okay. That is going to be a draw 2 on turn 2. So that's something. They're going to be beating us down, but we're going to get this Chrysalis down on or around turn 4, which is nice at least. So they are cycling first to pull an island out of their deck. I've been known to do that. They reveal an island from the Lorien, right? And they reveal a Brainstorm. Okay, they got it. So they've got their second land. They just picked it up. So we're riding on the back of a Chrysalis. They're riding on the back of an Insectile Aberration. Which will win? I'm guessing they're 1 mana 3/2. But we'll see. Like, we've got stuff, So here I'm a little afraid of Spell Pierce. So I think I got my 3rd land. That's nice. Or my 4th land. I'm going to Eviscerator's Insight on their turn. If they play the Brainstorm here, I'll respond with the Eviscerator's Insight. They consider. Okay. Eviscerator's Insight in response. Hiya. I've been saying hiya a lot more recently. I wonder where I picked that up. I never used to be a hiya guy. Okay, we are at an effective 14. They declined to put the card into the graveyard, which means they're not really very effectively rushing out their terrors. Delver, another one. Okay. Writhing Chrysalises, save me. Man, imagine that draw spell was a Deadly Dispute instead of an Eviscerator's Insight, and I could Chrysalis on 3 here. I would have a much better chance. Let's see if we have any plays. We will play a Geothermal Bog, because why not? We're taking this turn off anyway. And then we'll pass. Don't flip. They have a Brainstorm, so they can make it flip. Alright, I go down to 8, and then I go down to 5. Hopefully they don't have a Boomerang for my Writhing Chrysalis. That would be a problem. This Thorn will be good eventually. I just got to get their flyers off the board. They've got 4 cards in hand. I feel like they have so many cards in hand. They mulliganed almost as much as we did. Alright. I mean 4 cards in hand when they draw. Hopefully they forgot to flip the Delver. Let's see what they put back. They put back a Thought Scour. Okay. Are they going to rush out some terrors? Hopefully they don't have 2 flipped Delvers into a terror right now. That would be very rough. It's possible if they mill 2 instants and sorceries, or if they have an island in hand. Okay, Artful Dodge. The creature can't be blocked. Man. And how much does that cost? Just 1? It's pretty cheap, man. So give me here like an Ichor Wellspring, I guess. Lorien revealed for their 3rd land. Hitting most of their land drops. I guess they missed one. Okay, don't have a Force Spike here. Force Spike would ruin my entire, I don't want to sound dramatic, but life. Writhing Chrysalis, go. I've got to sack one spawn. Do they have Force Spike? They've got Force Spike! Okay, go next. Go next. I'm not pulling this back. We concede with style, chat. We concede with style so that we can forge a new beginning. Do I want to be discarding their cards? I want to be emptying the graveyard for sure. Discarding their cards kind of helps them. I don't think I like spinning Darkness just for Delver. I'd rather have something that can hit the big boys. So I will also take out... I think I'm going to take out the Crypt Rats. Maybe this is wrong. Put in a Snuff Out. Is there anything else I want to take out? I don't think so. Hunter is good in this matchup. I just have to hope they don't have that amazing start. I'm going to put in just one Snuff Out, keep the 3, and instead of going up to 4, and run it. Here we go. Game 2 versus Mono Blue Terror. That's playing Force Spike. Absolutely disgusting. Alright. Try not to mulligan 4 times. 3 times. Yes, we'll go first. We have a... We can pick up a green source with the Fountainport Bell. I like that. Yes, absolutely keep. That's good. We've got draw spells. We can play into Avenging Hunter. What are they doing? They mulligan to 6. That's a good start for me. They keep on 6 this time. Okay. This time we are winning by 1 in the mulligan game. Put a forest on top. Forest on top is also good if we get a Heaped Harvest or a Chrysalis. So here I have the potential to play that forest, which I revealed, and Deadly Dispute the Bell to draw deeper. I might do that, but not until they act during my end step, because they are happy to Spell Pierce me or Force Spike me here. I think I'm going to do that. I gotta play on curve here. Also, the treasure token will help me speed out the Avenging Hunter a bit. So I'm going to Deadly Dispute in response. So I need to find another land. We can play turn 4 Avenging Hunter. That's not a land. Tithing Blade is good. That's good. So we've got a couple more looks for a land. I'm not going to use this, throw this treasure token away without a lot of thought. Okay. Okay. So, here's the question. Do I play into Spell Pierce? I don't have to, but the way to not play into Spell Pierce is to sacrifice the treasure, and we already talked about that. I don't want to do that, bro. So let's hold up a single black to make it look like we have a Defile. You can't Force Spike me. Do I draw my card? I draw my card. Very nice. Ooh. Okay, still no land. That's a little bit sus, but I could go Chrysalis on 4, which is, you know, not the worst. What do they have during my end step? Let's see it. I mean, I've got this Tithing Blade coming down. Oh, nothing. I love to see that. Do they have Delvers and stuff? Brainstorm? Okay, you can Brainstorm. Hopefully they get Brainstorm locked. They will probably try to hold up a mana, so they could counter my Avenging Hunter with that Force Spike. We know they have it. That's so annoying, man. They're passing through. Okay, so they've got Counterspell and such. Maybe I don't Avenging Hunter on this turn. How likely are they to have Force Spike? What is it? Well, they're pretty likely to have a Counterspell, aren't they? Oh, and I didn't even get a land, so it's not an option. I wasn't worried about it for 1 second. So in that case, I am going to Fanatical Offering on the Wellspring. And if they Spell Pierce me, I think that I will spend the treasure token at this point. If they Counterspell me, worse things could happen. I still draw 1 off of Wellspring. I gotta keep digging for lands. 2 mana Counterspell, that's okay. That's okay. Find a land. We found a land, nice. We got a blocker for stuff. Good. Do we Eviscerator's Insight right now using the treasure? We already got our land. We don't need to be crazy. Let's keep our artifacts around our 1 artifact for the Refurbished, which we're going to play someday. They could drop a 4-mana Terror here. Or they could just pass. They want to play it with protection. We're waiting for them. Are they paying a cost? No. Okay. How do we do this efficiently? I think I like the Chrysalis because I get the tokens even if they counter it. Let's do that. I've got a handful of threats. This is the thing that I most want to see countered. And they can't force spike it now because I've got the treasure. Counterspell? Completely fine. Completely. And I don't really need to dig deeper with draw spells right now. So I'm just going to chill on all that and pass. So far they've played 2 counterspell. For my creatures, they've got 2 more and some amount of force spike. They mill a deep analysis. I'm not mad at that, actually. Is it going to be possible to make them counter my Tithing Blade and then I Avenging Hunter versus their Terror? There's 1 Terror. It's 1 mana. Okay. There's another Terror. It's 1 mana. Okay. I've got 7 mana to play with right now. So I can Terror and Avenging Hunter, and I can actually hold up the initiative currently. Unless they have a boomerang or something. Snuff out. It's okay. It's okay. Try a Tithing Blade. I only got 1. Wait, hold on. Go back, go back. Undo. So I could cancel. Play another Chrysalis here. See if they counter that. Maybe that's the move. I don't need to rush to respond to this. I mean, these are just dumb 5/5s. Let's do Chrysalis. So here, just spend all my lands. Do you counterspell this? If you do, then I drop a... Okay, now they can force spike. That's a problem. Okay, I get this on the table. Am I happy with this? Am I happy right now? I've got 5 mana to play with. And if they counter me then, what's the big deal? Right? I just drop another one? We go for it. Yes, these are blockers, but who needs that? I've got my plant token. Green. Here we go. Does it work? We take the initiative. They do not have their force spike. Let's go. Give me a basic. I need a land, baby. Give me a swamp, I think. We can play that swamp. Look like we got a defile, which does nothing. No worries, it's fine. And pass. These look like pretty good blockers, huh? Do you have 2 points of removal? That's what you need right now to take the initiative, and then I, potentially take it right back. Probably not. Oh, I could with my second Avenging Hunter. Haha. I feel so hyper. But to see this deck kind of working is so exciting. Because I know it's pretty similar to an existing shell, but just doing the brew and seeing some things work out, even if it's not the new cards I put in, excites me. I hope it excites you too. If not, that's okay. The snuff out is not quite working. Okay, now they need 2 points of removal. Do they have snaps? Double boomerang won't do it, because they can't play 2. They could make the thing unblockable? That card? Demon Inferior? Okay. I'll put this second from top. Do you have another one? That's the question. It looks like they do. Or is that a Delver? Okay. Trade? Trade and block? Are they making this unblockable somehow? Okay. Block. Nice. We take out a Terror. We're happy to sacrifice our Avenging Hunter to do it. Currently, I don't understand why they did what they did. They play their Delver? That's fine. I could snuff that out and Tithing Blade the other thing, and they're tapped out. Yeah. Snuff you out. We lost game 1, so we got a win in game 3. But this is looking like, maybe not locked up, but it's looking pretty good. I don't have anything to forge, unfortunately, so they did take me off of that. I could just forge their thing if I really want to go down the left path. I think that's what I do, and I just sacrifice it with the Tithing Blade. Forge you. Here you go. Do you want it? No. No. So I won't forge you. Okay, the ward hurt them there. That's really funny. Tithing Blade. Play a refurb for 3. Don't mind if I do. We've got an Eviscerator's Insight, which we can get some nice value off of. What do they discard? What are they discarding? A Deep Analysis? The Artful Dodge? Thought Scour? Okay, that's fine. That's just a cantrip. I just discarded a 1 mana card that says, see a random card in your deck. It's fine. There's another Terror. Okay. They're fighting. Okay. End step. So we will trap them here. Trap. On you. Hiya. And then we can try to Chrysalis. And if they counter that, I still get the blockers. I love it. And then I'm going to draw a card, and then I'm going to go into the throne room. It's some very nice stuff here. Okay, are they going to have a way to make this unblockable? At this point, I think that's what they need. Pass. I think I want to play this troll. I could also, like, try to do an Eviscerator's Insight. It doesn't even flip. Man, it's hard days for them. My phone is pinging. Sorry if that's annoying. Okay, so here is where I go to blocks, and I put this in front. And then I go, okay, Eviscerator's Insight, black, pay here, and sacrifice this. All right. And they still don't take the initiative. I draw an extra card. Do they counter it? I'm not even that worried about it. I still draw an extra card. Nope. Why do I always have to click that twice? I don't get it. You go away. I don't want to see you. It always annoys me when it does that. I don't know how other people feel about it. Okay. So they're holding up 1 point of interaction. No problem. I just got to be ready for that. I've got a Haunted Mire and a Deadly Dispute. Not really what I needed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't really play out the troll here. Do I just drop this Avenging Hunter? I've got like a flyer here which can take the initiative back. I'm not too worried about it. Let's go Avenging Hunter and then play the basic that we pick up if they don't counter it. If they do counter it, I just play the Haunted Mire and say okay. I go into the throne. Give me a big Refurbished Familiar potentially. Or another Avenging Hunter. Let's take their last card. A Writhing Chrysalis. When you cast this, but it's still 5/6. But I'd rather have one of these. I guess just another Avenging Hunter. We're just pressuring them now. It's fine. We've got 2 flying blockers. Take another basic. I don't know why I was thinking this would get me a basic, but it turned out that it was right in a roundabout way. Here. And act like we have something. Okay. Do we go for any attacks? Still no need. I'm going to wait 1 more turn. I'm going to really drive in the spike here. As always, they can make this unblockable. I'm not too worried. We're going to forge. So now they're going to have to do some blocks. Forge on this, so they don't get a good block. Use get in. I don't know how they can live. They can live with like Boomerang, but they're playing Demon Inferior. So they don't have much instant speed interaction. Here on the just the flyer, just to like make sure. And they're only getting in for 8 damage, even if this doesn't go well. And they gotta do some blocks, you know? What could they even have? No clue, so we just run it. Sometimes that's the answer. Sometimes I'm like, they've put me in a situation where they have a card that doesn't exist. How could I be such a fool? And it's like, no, that card doesn't exist. So this is 12 damage right here. I can Deadly Dispute this if I have to. That should be enough. Okay. GG. Go game 3. We're doing it, y'all. We're doing it. Now let's not get a bad mulligan. How am I with the sideboard cards? I think I'm comfortable. Submit. Maybe we find our graveyard hate this game. That would be cool. We put it in, right? Yeah. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Are they changing their sideboard? Are you questioning the original choices you made? Are you showing weakness, opponent? I love to see it. We won the game already. They're second guessing. They're going to decide not to play a land on turn 1. That does it. They better not time out here because this is too epic. All right. Nice. And I'm sure to some of you out there, it's just like, yeah, that was a pretty reasonable open and shut game. Not to me, okay? Oh no, I have to mulligan. It's a 1-lander. They also mulligan. Okay, we go again. We're mulliganing all set. Ooh, I keep this one. I've got Defile for the Delver, and I've got, you know, a Snuff Out. Oh, this feels so bad. No, I don't want to mulligan again. I think I'm going to keep, because I've got Defile and Snuff Out, so they can't early run me over. And they're really thinking, please mulligan again. They keep 6. Dang it. Okay, well, we're on the draw, so it's fine. We keep. We put back, one deadly dispute. Alright. This is risky. Let's see. We're going to snap Defile the Delver. They don't even have Delver. They're trying to Spell Pierce me. I don't care. That's totally fine. You can do that. We don't get a land. We got one more draw before it starts getting risky. Consider. Okay, they're loading up the grave. The funny thing is, right now I'm not even able to pay the ward cost to cast a free Snuff Out. That's what's really scary. This is the problem with playing 18 lands in Jund. Maybe this has to be 19. I might be learning my lesson here. That's not a land. Pass. They're celebrating right now. Remember how I said they're not going to play a land on turn 1? It turns out we're not going to play a land on turn 2. Whew. They're filling up the graveyard. Don't do that. They mill a Delver and an island, at least. I was so excited. And I made a bad play. No. I got a mulligan to 5, man. Apparently. Okay, we got another try. Find a land, please. Okay. We have game now. We can snuff out their thing. That's all I ask for. I ask for a little more, but we'll wait on that for later. Are they going to play it protected, or do they just drop it? They've got a different color. They've got a regular island? Are they afraid of Ponza? What's happening? Alright. Oh no, they could play a thing, but they're trying to protect it? My nemesis. And there's nothing we can deadly dispute? We have to discard. Okay. Move to discard. I don't think we need to defile anymore. Just give me a forest, man. I don't want to post this anymore, but I will. Waiting for Sodre to finish looking at Sodre's hand. Spider-Man meme. Why did I keep this hand that has no proactive plays? It doesn't even have an Ichor Wellspring, man. Okay. I would accept a Colony Garden at this point, you know? Ooh? 5 mana? Oh, that's not what I want to see them do for 5 mana. Do they just have no creatures? What's happening? They're playing well. Why? They've gotten every land drop. Another Snuff Out. Well, I can't pay ward twice. I guess I keep the other Snuff Out. And let's get rid of a Heaped Harvest or an Avenging Hunter. Take the Heaped Harvest away from me, I guess. It's been taunting me, costing green mana. Cryptic Serpent. Okay, okay. That's snuff-outable. I will do it during my own end step. Terror is not snuff-outable, okay? It's just not. They're leaving open mana. They know. Okay, we find a troll for another land. We gotta take the duel so we can get the Heaped Harvest online. Okay. Let's do it. It's so ogre, chat. Why am I saying chat? This is a YouTube video. How many times have I said chat so far this video? Let me know. I feel like a dingus. End step. Burn their mana. I don't care. If they can do something for 2 mana, they can do it for 1,000,000 mana. 2 mana is all they need, is what I'm trying to say here. It's over. I can't even pay for Spell Pierce. Another one. I mean, it figures. They dropped no creatures until turn 6. We can't afford to take 11 here. Surely we take 9. Well, we can't afford to take 11, so let's take 15 is basically what I'm trying to say right now. Does it work? And now we've got these Defiles sitting around doing nothing because they decided this game they wanted to just fix their mana, get their land drops, play their creatures intelligently. They had no interaction, really. Play their creatures intelligently, no Delvers. This person is a real drama queen, is what I'm trying to tell you. So here what I do, okay, is so I've got Snuff Out for the other one. That's something. But then what do I do about the final one? So I think what I do is I Heaped Harvest, but then I can't Snuff Out anymore. Snuff Out costs 6 mana, which is disgusting. So I hit my land. I guess I just Snuff Out currently. And then if now they stop it, then they stop it. There's nothing I can do. We pay the ward. Pay the warden. Okay, just interact with me, opponent. You've got something. You've got 5 cards in the hand of yours. You didn't want to do it before. Make me pay the ward and then do it. Yes. Yep. There's the counter spell. You had this whole time, and that spells doom for me. I can't double defile because I can't pay the ward. GG, well played. It's going in the video. I don't care. I said chat. I kept a one-lander. I don't care at this point. It's too cathartic. We enjoy the highs and the lows together. Concede. Alrighty. Next match. Okay, we are starting our last match of the recording session. Let's hope it's a good one. We did win the die roll, so we're off to a good start. Good luck. Have fun. Even though this deck has not been all of the highlights that I hoped it might be, it's been a very interesting, very good time. I'm going to keep this, and I might trade it in for like a 5-0 in a league or something like that, but, it's been pretty funny, so I don't hate that. So I want to get Colony Garden down at some point, but I think I can wait on that and just use this turn to Blood Fountain, and then play my other swamp into Ichor Wellspring, and then play Colony Garden like on 3 or something. On 3, unless I pick up a Heaped Harvest, and, if that's in the top 2 or 3 cards of my deck, unlucky. Unless I want to play Heaped Harvest, oftentimes I can just spend 2 mana on turn 3. But I don't want to wait too long to get down this Colony Garden, because eventually I want to be able to play it with the Avenging Hunter if it's a matchup where I will be doing that. Let's see what the opponent is on. They play a Plains and a Lunarch Veteran. Okay, so it's looking like White Weenie. Gotcha. I'm not too worried about the Prismatic Strands unless it blocks my Crypt Rats, but I can probably get them to misplay on that is my best guess. Alright, so this is just looking like a swamp into a Wellspring. As soon as we pick up a Refurb now, it's going to be quite good. So I don't think I've actually faced White Weenie with this deck yet. It can be pretty aggressive, but if they have a slow start, I think I might be okay. It's not as aggressive as, say, Boros Synthesizer, so I'm not too mad at it. It's looking like my turn 3 is just going to be Colony Garden into Deadly Dispute. And then I have the potential, if I draw a land, an untap land, to cheat out an early Avenging Hunter, which I probably won't do in this deck, but it's an interesting possibility. Let's explore that on my next draw. Opponent finds their land drop and moves to combat. So this tells me that they're flooded and they might just have Plains and like Thraben Charm. This could also be a Battle Screech that they can't resolve. It could be a Prismatic Strands. There are a variety of things. So I will Colony Garden. Okay. And am I Deadly Disputing the Wellspring or the token? I think I will Deadly Dispute the Wellspring because the treasure will still act as the necessary mana for a Refurbished Familiar down the line, and this will allow me to put out my Avenging Hunter. Also, keeping the token allows me to protect the emblem if it comes down to that, if I end up wanting to go for the turn 4 Avenging Hunter. Okay, so we don't find it yet. If our top deck is an untapped land, we'll consider it. Otherwise, what are we doing? I like getting down an early Heaped Harvest. It really opens up my options, but sometimes it's kind of a trap to just play for value like that and get mana for voice crack, long session, and get mana for down the road, basically. It's better to ramp when you know it'll give you some advantage or when you need to thin your deck. We'll see if they have a Rafine's Informant here. They've got a Skyfisher, picking up their Thraben. Okay. I don't mind that. Oh, picking up a Clue. That's really interesting. So they're trying to go aggressive on me here. So what I could do here is play a Crypt Rats. Well, it all depends. Let's see what land I get. I could play Crypt Rats and just hold it up there. But then they're going to Strands whenever they get the chance. We don't find the untapped land, which is unfortunate. I think I want to get more black mana for the Crypt Rats, play out my Colony Garden here. That also means that I'll be able to, again, more easily protect the emblem in the future. So we'll just do this. I'm okay with it. The question is, do I get a mountain at some point? We'll wait and see. So here I'll just get the swamp, and I'll play the Colony Garden and pass. Their starting hand really makes me think that they have a Strands. But it's also kind of hard for them to play it out, or to justify just wasting it instead of sacking it to a Raffine's informant or something like that. So currently, I am threatening a board. Next turn, I'm going to be threatening a Crypt Rat's board clear. So we'll see if they find a way to get the strands into the grave. Okay, they've got 4 mana. They're buffing their flyer, makes sense. So now I don't have a Crypt Rat's clear anymore unless I find... Oh, but I still do it, don't I? If they're going to be battle screeching me, I clear that, no question. Do they have a free way to get rid of their strands? Is this only at sorcery speed? I think so. So it's got to be a Crypt Rat's play, which means I should block with my stuff. They're considering whether they want to be able to battle screech, I think. Ooh, they leave everything behind? That feels really weird. They're going to battle screech again. Okay, Crypt Rats is looking good. Now let's just find a swamp. A swamp would be great. Because right now I still only have a 3 damage wipe with the rats. Okay, no. So we will just wipe for 2, which will leave us with a treasure. So I think I'm going to cycle... I might need a red source from this troll. I need to find an answer for this. I'm likely to find it with my Eviscerator's Insight or something like that. I don't have a free way to sack this. So I Crypt Rats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then... no land drop? Now I should get a land drop this turn. I will just cycle this for a basic swamp to hit my land. I could also do a Witch's Cottage and put Crypt Rats back on top. That's actually an interesting play. It would force me to use my treasure with the rats. But I think I like that. Then what are they supposed to do, right? That's the play. 1, 2, 3. Wipe for 2. Put rats on top. No prismatic strands in the grave yet. Witch's Cottage. Crypt Rats on top. Okay. Yes. And then I will play the Fountainport Bell, but not use the ability. Just to be mana efficient. Unfortunately, no Defile here. That might be a reason not to stack the Crypt Rats, I'm not sure, but I've got card draw here. No, don't use the ability. Okay, so they've got a 3 power creature and currently not much else. They can embalm the Lunarch Veteran, is that what it's called? Disturb, okay. That would be fine. They are redeveloping. Let's see if they discard a Strands. They crack a Clue. They need a land. They crack a Clue in the stack. It's weird. So I can wipe this again. I don't really care to right now. I'm not bothered by it. This is going to be a flyer, which I have to worry about more. So here, I think I will Eviscerator's Insight on the Blood token rather than the Heaped Harvest, because I want the healing from the Heaped Harvest in this situation. I might even Heaped Harvest first. So Heaped Harvest, that would leave me with 2 mana. That's enough for a Defile, or a pricey Snuff Out. Yeah, let's take the land out of our deck. I don't know, I left 2 green sources open. That's fine. So here I take the Mountain, because my Defile is hitting everything it needs to. Yes. So I can start playing Chrysalises, and then I will Insight my Blood token, paying like this. Now this deck has Rally the Peasants and Guardians Pledge, so they have whatever their power is plus 6 currently. So that's 5 plus 6. They can deal 11. That is spooky, but it's not death. They're thinking about this Eviscerator's Insight. Have I played a land this turn? I don't think I have. So I should cycle the Troll and play the Wellspring? Yeah, let's do that. I've got my red source now. Swamp cycling, put these away. Yep. Pay with green. Just take a swamp. That'll be fine. Play it. Play Wellspring. Okay, go ahead. What do I draw? Is it Spinning Darkness? That would be decent. Snuff Out would be alright. I don't need all these Crypt Rats. This is too many rats. Currently, I can Crypt Rats for 4 damage, which is all I need to do. So let's see if they overdevelop into the board and then don't have a Strands. They Battle Screech, okay. So they can just swing for 4 here? Okay, so they're not planning to battle Screech in the second main phase, which means that they are trying to have the ability to redevelop. I see. The main problem is this thing. If I can take care of this without Crypt Rats, then I'm happy. Another Avenging Hunter is not where I need to be. Let's do Crypt Rats. Do I wait until their turn and risk the Prismatic Strands? I don't think they had the opportunity to use it yet. But would they hold it up in this situation? I feel like they would have, but Prismatic Strands is like so punishing. I think I just do this here. I go down to 7. Yeah. And then I just have to keep their board completely clean. No, I should have spent, that's fine. Done. Okay. And then I can crack the bell for a draw. Get a blood fountain. That doesn't do anything. Pass. So they can redevelop some flyers to the board. But I've got another Crypt Rats here, so hopefully now they go all in. They don't hold up strands. They already saw that same Crypt Rats twice. How can I possibly have another one, right? Novice Inspector. They're getting lots of redraws. Why are they cracking clues on the stack like that? It's so jarring. Do they play another thing? They don't, so I can Avenging Hunter. Here's where the game starts to turn. And I'll get a basic. Okay. The problem is I really want a blocker if they have Thraben Charm. Because I know that they can get this back, kill here. So I'm going to swamp. I have 4 mana, which is a little unfortunate. I'm not going to risk the Wellspring. I'm just going to play a Crypt Rats here, just to block with. Okay, they're getting a Plains, got it. This is kind of coming down to the wire, but as long as I can maintain the initiative here, maybe find another Heaped Harvest. I run so little healing, that's the problem. I only have like 3 food in the deck. That's definitely a weakness that I've started to discover. Okay, let's go into the sideboard. So in the sideboard, they quit again. Man. Alright, that's the last match of the day. It's going in the video. Okay, how's it going? I just wanted to give a quick recap of those games, or really a look at the deck afterward. Propose a couple of changes that I have, and open up the floor to you all if you think that you would change anything or play this deck in a different way. Because obviously right now it's not perfect. This is just a first draft, but we can potentially work on it together. Okay, so I've made a couple of changes that I want to look at first that I think will make the deck run more smoothly. Now, unfortunately, this cuts out part of the whole original point of the video, which is to play Bloomburrow cards in gardens. But in my opinion, other than Heaped Harvest and potentially Fountainport Bell, I'm not sure if Psychic Whorl or the Bumbleflower Sharepot thing are really worth playing. Bumbleflower is just sort of a tempo loss that doesn't do anything immediately. It makes 1 food, but usually that's not much impact, and if I have time to spend 5 mana to kill a permanent, oftentimes that's just taking a mostly 1 game and really sealing it, and I probably would have won most of those games anyway. But I will say Heaped Harvest has been an MVP, so I've decided to put in a 3rd copy of that, and to leave the Fountainport Bell for the mana fixing. Now, I don't know if it's just variance, like I said in the intro, but I had a lot of no-landers, and you might have seen some of them in the video if I included those. And so I included 1 more land. I just couldn't bear it. The variance was killing me, so I buckled. I put in another swamp. Maybe a second Bojuka Bog would be good, so you have more main deck hate against graveyard-type decks. I think the deck can support another Bojuka Bog. I just actually don't have one in my collection, so I put in a swamp and just decided to make that disclaimer. I really felt that Lembas was so important in this deck to have sort of recurring card draw over time that you can continue to draw into, and I think it makes the chaining effects of the other 2-mana draw spells so much more important. To be able to play a Lembas, sack a Lembas, draw some cards, play a Lembas, sack a Lembas, and so on. Sort of like that Storm-style play pattern that I was describing in the intro. Again, maybe more Weather the Storm, but the whole point is I think that this deck was really soft to burn in a way that it didn't have to be, and I'm hoping that 3 Lembas will help that. In turn, I took out a single copy of Ichor Wellspring. Wellspring is a stronger sack to one of the draw spells. But it was actually pretty rare that I needed to draw 3, and I think just having the on-play card selection of Lembas might be a little bit more powerful, in addition to the ongoing value there. I made a couple of other cuts here and there that you might notice. Probably the most noticeable one is I went down to 3 Refurbished Familiar. This is a weird change to make, and I don't know how it'll play, but I just found that this deck can support a decent amount of artifacts, but the big problem is it's hard to run this deck with artifact lands because it cares about basics with the Heaped Harvest. Also, that would make it really, really soft to anti-affinity hate. So I just decided that Refurbished Familiar was sitting dead in my hand a lot, and I sort of don't want to start with this card. I'd rather draw into it on turn 3 or 4. So I went down to only 3 of these to slightly reduce the hand-ripping strategy of the deck. The amount of removal is still the same. I went slightly down on Avenging Hunter. Basically, I just wanted to have more consistent mid-turns, a more consistent mana base, so I have less feel-bad moments where it's like turn 1 or 2, and I don't have lands or I don't have any playables. So hopefully this will help fix that. For the sideboard, I just made one change, and it was that I took out a Spinning Darkness for a Chainer's Edict. Chainer's Edict is something that I've been really wanting to fit in, but it's just been hard to find space. I love the fact that this deck can really ramp, and it can reach mana totals that are otherwise unseen in Garden's decks because of the Heaped Harvest and the Fountainport Bell. I like that a lot, and I wanted to take advantage of that, so flashing back a Chainer's Edict is pretty nice. There were matchups where I was definitely wishing that I had this against like Mono Blue Terror. You might have seen that in the video. Otherwise, I didn't make any other changes. I could see going down on Weather the Storm since I'm now playing 3 Lembas, but I'm still afraid, so I'm going to leave it as is. And there's the deck right there. I hope you all enjoyed these games, even though it wasn't a conventional League video. I'm treating this as sort of more of a discussion topic. So again, the comments are open if you have any suggestions or if you think this sort of style of gardens is interesting and want to try it out for yourself. I think that's going to be all. I'm going to sign off for now. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.